connecting with your breath, connecting with your sensations. Good morning, Kate. Leaning back a tiny bit, as if there is a wall behind you. You can leaning back, find a tiny bit, a yes, yes. And then you find your shin in front of you, as if you can put it on a shelf. And then you push it back a tiny bit, that your back of your skull comes in line with your sacrum. So we have this tendency, chin reaches towards the ceiling. So you want to bring it leveling down and push it back. Maybe you can feel this gives a bit of a release in your front line. This place we receive life. This place where we give us into life. This connecting from your front side, and very often, specifically in these days, we have this tendency to close down, to rounding up, trying to protect us. And this is a very human response when there is something going on. We feel we are threatened, we feel insecure, we feel overwhelmed. And at the same time, the more you're letting yourself being open, the more you feel this inner response coming naturally from inside, and you don't need to close down. Opening and closing is a very natural state. Like a flower is opening towards the sun, towards light, and closing for the night. And when you put this judgment away, you feel this movement naturally happening in you. Nothing to do. You are safe and protected. Giving and receiving is one-way street. It's not one or the other. So connecting with yourself. And for today's pranayama, people has been practicing here quite a lot, feeling a bit more heavy bones, tired muscles. Let's heat up a tiny bit and give a bit of energy with fire breath, Kalapati. So you want to take your fire breaths. When you've never done this before, you want to take, imagine you are a dog, and a dog has this breath. And it is the same breath, they just use it for cooling down. So they let the tongue come out, open their mouth and do like, this is for them cooling down. We want to heating up. So when you've never done it before, maybe you just want to try it for one moment. Bring your hand on your belly and with your eyes closed that you don't feel ridiculous, this kind of judging mind, opening your mouth and letting yourself really start like a dog. Can you feel when you're exhaling, you're sucking your belly in like, this is automatically. And then you're closing your lips and you breathe with your nose like, and you emphasize a tiny bit your exhaling, sucking this belly in. Inhaling, rising in your spine, holding your breath in, walking yourself forward, stay on your seat with your exhaling. Opening your mouth and letting yourself folding forward really. Stay empty, sucking your belly in, activating your Mula Bandha, chin towards your sternum. All the three bandhas activated while you stay empty, letting this energy flow in your body. Inhaling, walking your hands back into your neutral. Change the crossing of your leg, bring your other leg in front, hands on your knees or wherever it feels comfortable. One more round. Inhaling long and deep. Exhaling, release. Inhaling halfway and start with your Kalapati, fire breath. Sucking belly in. When this is difficult for you, really start with mouth open. Inhaling long and deep, rising, holding your breath in. Walking your hands forward, stay on your fingertips or folding forward with a big exhaling. Open your mouth, exhaling, really letting all the energy coming out. Mula Bandha, pelvis floor. Uddiyana Bandha, diaphragm, chin towards your sternum, Ilyana Bandha. Stay. Inhaling, walking your hands back into your neutral, closing your knees, swinging your knees under you and finding your kneeling position just to change the seat, bringing your hands, the root of your wrists in your inner groins and pressing them down, lengthening, creating a tiny bit of space. It's really just hands in your inner groins and pressing them down to release. We have a lot of tension in this part. Releasing your arms, bringing your arms on your side, sweep your arms over your head. Stay with your left hand, creating a fist and point with your thumb. With your right hand, come in the center of your chest, releasing your shoulder. Ego eraser, it is called. So we want to take one more round in our fire breath. Inhaling halfway and start. Inhaling long and deep, holding your breath. Opening your left hand, bring your left hand on top of your right, bring your chin towards your sternum, as if you can see internally your own heart, your own being. Releasing your arms, sweep your arms over your head with your inhaling. Exhaling, bringing your arms halfway on your side, bending your elbows. And from here you start with your inhaling, gazing towards your left side and coming back in your center. Exhaling towards your right side. Inhaling back in your center. Inhaling left, exhaling, turning to your right, Inhaling left, exhaling to your right. You can take it like this, slow, or if you would like, you can speeding up and starting with your inhaling left, exhaling right, closing your eyes, letting this movement be guided by your breath, like hang in there, tiny bit more, deepening your breath. This controlling mind, letting it be with breath. Chris, when you need, come in your seat. You can sit in your normal seat when it's difficult for your heel. And slowly, like a huge big panda, you want to come back in your neutral position, spreading your fingers wide. Exhaling, rounding your spine, elbow meets with your hands. Inhaling as if you can open from your elbows, opening your chest, sweet little back bending. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, exhaling, rounding. One more time, inhaling, stay, spreading your fingers, bring your elbows towards your seat, really giving yourself a squeeze in your shoulder blades, gaze towards the ceiling. Exhaling, release, arms over your head with your inhaling. Exhaling, coming with your arms on your side, bringing your fingertips onto your shoulders. When you have difficulties in sitting, please come in a variation of your seat. It doesn't need to be the kneeling. It's just really nice to open these thighs, but please come in any variation. Releasing your elbows, inhaling, lifting. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, lifting. And again, you can be like this or following the Kundalini yoga practice. You can speeding up, deepening your breath and letting movement connecting with breath. So you can like inhaling up, exhaling, releasing, sweep your arms over your head. Exhaling like wings towards your side, lifting shoulders, rolling them back and down, shoulders, back and down. One more time, shoulders. Back and down. I see kneeling is really difficult. Coming onto your knees, releasing this tension. Exhaling, pushing with your seat, belly meets your thighs, planting your hands, gazing between your arms. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, gazing forward. Exhaling. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. And we want to take one more. Really nice from the Kundalini practice. Following your breath. It is, and connecting with movement. In the Kundalini practice, we use a lot this fire breath. And which helps us, hopefully you feel, kind of heating you up internally and energizing yourself. And when you connect with movement, you have more energizing. You're letting go a tiny bit more this head, so you trust a tiny bit more your breath. So feel free to do it, or you do it slowly. Yeah, for some people it's a bit too intense. Let's just try, have another experience. So from here, you want to lifting your left knee, stay with your knee bent, opening your chest, spreading your fingers, and then you're rounding your spine. Bring your knee towards your forehead. The movement is you want to stay bent in your knees. Inhaling and squaring your hips. Pedro, squaring your hips. Really bring your hips parallel. Exhaling. Inhaling, lifting up, pulling your hands towards your heart. Exhaling, staying here, or you can speeding up, like inhaling up, exhaling close. Inhaling, lengthening your legs, lifting your opposite arm. Exhaling, release. Pressing yourself into your child pose for a moment. Forehead meeting the floor, resting. And the deeper you concentrate on your breath, the more the movement comes spontaneously, the more the movement comes from the connection with your inner self. Inhaling, coming back, hands under your shoulders, knees hip width apart, making sure your shoulders rolling back, spreading your fingers, soft in your elbows, and you want to change side. So you're lifting your right knee. The movement is guided from your internal. It is this idea you're opening and warming up these energy lines along your spine. So you're inhaling, exhaling, wow. Inhaling, exhaling, round. One more time, slow, and you stay slow, or you want to de-speeding up, like inhaling up. Wonderful. Keep on doing what feels right for you, speeding up or slowing down. Inhaling up, exhaling, slow. Inhaling up, exhaling. And with your next inhaling, reaching long with your leg, lifting your arm. Exhaling, planting your hand, planting your knee, opening your knees. Mat widths apart, big toes touching. Come into your open-legged child pose. Your thumb and your index finger want to meet, resting in front of your top of your head, softening your hands, heaviness in your shoulders. Inhaling slowly, coming back in your cat-cow position, bringing your knees under you, gazing forward, curling your toes, lifting your knees, giving yourself a bit of a warming up here. You're sliding with your knees over your mat, over the floor, and you're finding some really funky movements. You're turning your knees to one side, warming up these heavy muscles. People here surfing, maybe you feel these muscles are a bit tight, sleepy. And you're lifting your seat, find your downward facing dog, paddling your feet. Spreading your fingers wide, Chris, opening your fingers and bending your knees a tiny bit and shooting up from your sit bones. So you want to bending your knees and you're lifting maybe your heels, spreading your fingers wide, lengthening your arms. Breathe. It doesn't matter when your heels staying up, you're finding a long spine. Breathe. Deepening breath, lengthening breath, harmonizing your breath. Breathe. And Anna, you have your hands a tiny bit close, opening them maybe 2 centimeters each. Yes. And rolling back your shoulders. This is it, softening in your elbows. Yeah. Bending your knees, and you want to flow one more time in your child pose. Bringing your fingers, meeting your toes, resting your forehead. Tucking your tailbone in, rolling up your spine, vertebra for vertebra, your shoulders rolling back and down. Sweep your arms over your head with your left hand, finding the right side of your head, helping you to stretching out, and you want to press your right hand as if there is a wall, giving yourself a bit of a warming up. Breath, and then you're walking with your right hand into your back. This is quite a personal spot here. Finding this spot you feel, this is really nice. Breath. Exhaling, release, coming back with your hand, sweep your arms over your head, and then you take from your right hand, left side, and you bring your hand, helping you to give yourself a bit of a stretching. Releasing your shoulders, deep breath. Breath. And then you're walking with your hand into your back, finding this sweet little spot in your neck. Exhaling, release, coming back into your neutral, lifting your left, what is this, left shoulder, lifting your left elbow, hands, like your arms can become seaweed. So you start lifting from your shoulder, and this movement guides into your elbow, into your hand, as if you are in the deep sea, and you are a piece of a seaweed. Be guided by this gentle movement of this water, bringing sweetness, softness in your arms. Rest your breath. One more side, one more time, each side. With both arms on your sides, sweep your arms over your head, come onto your knees. Bring your hands around onto your sacrum, helping with your hands, opening your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades, find a sweet little back bending. Inhaling, finding back into your neutral, reaching forward from your arms, belly meets your thighs, planting your hands, cat, cow, exhaling, lifting your seat in your downward facing dog, stepping your feet together, lifting your right leg towards the ceiling, spreading your fingers wide, opening your hip,
bending your knee. Your right knee points towards the ceiling. Gaze under your left armpit. Please stay here, or people used to the practice, you can flip your dog. You're planting your right foot on the outside of your left, turning your toes, pressing both feet into the floor, lifting your arm over your head and flipping this dog. Breathe. Inhaling, exhaling, planting your hand, lifting your right leg towards the ceiling, bending your knee and stepping your right foot between your hands. Come into your aeroplane, your arms reaching back, your heart reaches forward. Breathe a long spine. Inhaling in your high lunge, sweep your arms over your head and lengthening. Breathe, interlacing your fingers, bringing your hands on the back of your skull. Stay bending your knees, and you want to lifting your heart a tiny bit. Exhaling, releasing your hands, stepping back in your downward facing dog. Inhaling, high plank. Exhaling, releasing knees, toes, pulling your hands towards your heart, chin chest meeting the floor, sneaking forward in your mini cobra, elbows louder, spreading fingers. Exhaling, curling your toes in your downward facing dog, lifting your left leg towards the ceiling with your inhaling, rolling back your shoulders. And from here, you want to opening your hip, bending your knee points towards the ceiling, and you stay or you're flipping your dog. Please feel what is possible for you. Breathe. Breathe. Turning a tiny bit more. Beautiful. Look at this. Breathe. One more big inhaling, lengthening your neck. And with your exhaling, planting your hand back onto the floor, lifting your left leg towards the ceiling, bending your knee, stepping your left foot between your hands, reaching forward from your heart, spreading your fingers, reaching forward a tiny bit more inner. And from here, this is it, your heel pressing back. Inhaling, high lunge, lifting your arms. Stretching out your back leg, Daniel. This is it. Breathe. Releasing your shoulders. Breathe. Interlacing your fingers, hands on the back of your skull. And as if you can lean your head back. You want to opening up this front side, bending your front knee, stretching out with your heel. Breathe. One more big inhaling, exhaling, planting your hands, stepping back in your downward facing dog, inhaling in your high plank, pushing with your heels, lifting yourself out of your shoulders, softening in your elbows, breathe, staying, long neck, breathe, liberating this neck. Stay, one more. Breathe. And Lena, see that you bring your hands in line. This is it. Breathe. When they are slippery, breathe deeper and press them down. Releasing your knees, releasing your toes, pulling your hands towards your heart so your elbows glued to your body, your 10 toes onto the floor, reaching forward from your heart, lifting yourself up, inhaling, exhaling, coming down, 10 toes onto the floor, your arms walking like cactus arms towards the side, fingertips pressing into the floor, releasing your gluteus muscles, pressing your 10 toes into the floor. From here, 10 toes, fingers, belly button, pubic bone, lifting your heart, inhaling, exhaling, coming down, inhaling, lifting yourself up, exhaling, belly button, pubic bone, inhaling, lifting, exhaling, coming down. One more time and you stay. Inhaling and start playing with your shoulders, with your elbows, gazing over one shoulder, over the opposite. And with your next inhaling, 10 toes into the floor like a cobra, lifting yourself up. Belly button, pubic bone, Lena, shoulders. Breathe. Exhaling, coming down, bringing your hands under your shoulders, curling your toes, lifting your seat in your downward facing dog, paddling your feet. And you want to take 3 deep, deep, deep exhaling with your mouth open and a big sigh like, oh. Inhaling and oh. One more time, inhaling and oh. Stay in your down dog. When you feel you need a bit of an integration, take a vinyasa. If you have energy of your choice, Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chin, chest. Choice, soften your elbows and rolling back your shoulders when you come in your upward facing dog. Stay soft in your elbows. Gazing forward, coming down. This is it. Beautiful. Rolling back your shoulders. Rolling them back. Exhaling in your downward facing dog. Bending your knees towards your chest and gazing between your hands. Walking forward, stepping forward. Feet under your hips, hugging your elbows for a moment. Taking this ragdoll. Your shoulders growing heavy. Bending your knees a tiny bit that you can lift in your seat. This gives you a more stretch here in your hamstrings. And you do not bring pressure on your lower back. Softening. Maybe you want to let your elbows swinging away from your shin bones and towards to like find a really nice swinging to soften your elbows, releasing your arms, interlacing your fingers, bringing the hands off the back of your skull, closing your elbows and lengthening your neck. Releasing your arms, bending your knees, tucking your tailbone and rolling up your spine, vertebra for vertebra, shoulders rolling back and down, hands on your side, Tadasana, closing your eyes for a moment. Spreading your fingers, your right thumb comes on top of your left thumb, bending your knees, and you want to dig in front of your toes. You're bending your knees, your arms coming along your ears, seat pressing back. Inhaling, staying bent in your knees while you're lifting your heart. Inhaling. Exhaling, sliding forward, releasing your hands, interlacing your hands and pressing your hands into each other, arms over your head. Inhaling, bending your knees, pushing with your hands, opening your chest. Anastasia, stay bending your knees, gazing forward from your heart. Anastasia, gazing forward from your heart and pushing your arms back. This is it. Exhaling, releasing your hands, stepping your right foot back into a long runner's lunge, right hand onto the floor, left arm lifting. Breath. Come onto your block when you need. Opposite side, Lena. You're twisting. No. Your foot was right, but the other hand onto the floor. This is it. Exhaling, releasing your hands, releasing your knee. When you need, you always can fold your mat on the side to create a nice little cushion. Come with your knee down, gazing forward. Inhaling, arms. Exhaling, interlacing fingers, opening your chest. Do not bring weight on your knee, coming forward, inner quiet. Your knee stays where it is. You bring your hips forward. Breathe. And you're lifting your heart. Come on, you have more flexibility. Bring a smile in your heart. Inhaling. Exhaling, planting your hands, stepping back and finding your high plank. Stay in your high plank, maybe taking a vinyasa of your choice, or you're lifting your seat. You stay in your down dog, or any variation you always can take. Your child pose if you need. Exhaling, down dog. Let's everyone find downward facing dog, spreading fingers, rolling back shoulders, softening in your elbows, Sarah, softening these elbows. This is it. You have over flexible elbows, and this is very easy to click them, closing them. Inner, opening your hands a tiny bit. Yes, breath. Breath. Bending your knees, gaze between your hands, hopping, walking, stepping forward. Inhaling, coming halfway, lengthening, opening. Remember, you want to pushing your seat, inner groins, soft knees, folding in. Right hand on top of your left, right thumb on top of your left thumb, bending your knees. You're reaching forward from your arms, spreading your fingers. Breath. From your feet, you're lifting your heart. Stay bending your knees. Find a sweet little back bending. Exhaling, bringing your prayer in front of your chest, releasing your arms. Tadasana. Breath. Left thumb on top of your right, bending your knees, digging forward in front. Lifting your arms, shooting back from your seat, creating space in this part. Lifting your heart while you're pressing down. Stay bending your knees in your back bending. Exhaling, folding forward, interlacing your fingers, swapping this interlace. Pressing your hands, arms over your head. Breath. 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 Inhaling, bending your knees, gazing forward, your arms pressing back, lifting your heart. It's a funky pose. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhaling, releasing your hands, stepping your left foot back, left hand under your shoulder, lifting your right arm. Breath. Stacking your shoulders, Tanya, bending your front knee a tiny bit more and stepping your front foot a tiny bit. Yes, this is it. Breath. Breath. One more inhaling. Exhaling, planting your hand, releasing your knee. When you need, fold your mat on your side, making a nice little cushion, gazing forward. You want to stay open in your inner groins while you're lifting yourself up. Louder, come a tiny bit forward with your hips. Yes. Hands on the back of your skull, opening your chest. One more inhaling. Exhaling, planting your hands, stepping back in your high plank. Spreading these fingers, shoulders on top of your hands. Pushing your heels, activating these heels while they're pushing back. Maybe you can lower your hips a tiny bit more. This is Leon. And gazing 20 centimeters from your heart in front of you. That your chest stays open. Exhaling, your knees, chin, chest. Chaturanga, the choice you're taking. Inhaling. Exhaling in your downward facing dog. Stay. Breathe. Taking 3 in and exhaling with your mouth open. Inhaling with your nose, exhaling. Inhaling with your nose, exhaling. Balancing your breath. Same amount of time inhaling as you're exhaling. How can you soften even a tiny bit more? Breathe. Bending your knees, gaze between your hands, hopping, walking, stepping forward between your hands. Inhaling, coming halfway, folding forward. Your left thumb on top of your right, bending your knees, reaching forward from your arms, spreading your fingers. Inhaling, stay bending your knees, sweet little back bending. Exhaling, bringing your prayer in front of your chest, closing your eyes. Exhaling, Tadasana Mountain. Stepping your feet together, your arms on your side, bending your knees, letting your arms swinging like monkey arms. Liberating this weight you're holding on your shoulders. Inhaling, lifting yourself up in your Utkatasana. So you stay bending your knees, rolling back your shoulders. Lifting your right heel, come on the tips of your toes. Exhaling, release, lifting your left heel. Exhaling, release, and you stay bending your knees. And maybe you want to play lifting both of your heels while you stay bending your knees. Bending your knees a tiny bit more. Exhaling, folding forward. Uttanasana, bending your knees, stepping your right foot back, open it 60 degrees, bending your front knee, hands on your hips, and you come in your hips facing front. You want to come in your first warrior, making sure hips facing front. Foot stays down. Maybe you need to bring your foot a tiny bit more on the side to help your hips coming forward. Bending your front knee, your arms on your side. Inhaling. Bending your front knee a tiny bit more, releasing your shoulders. Pressing. Exactly. I wanted to say, if you have difficulties, you always can come with your toes balancing. Don't worry. There is always a right pose, and there is a right pose for your body. So you're bending your knee, bringing your hips a tiny bit more forward. Breathe. It's a sweet stretch in your calf muscles. Breathe. Inhaling, lengthening your legs, opening your arms towards your side. Bring your shoulders coming down. reversed Anjali Mudra. Maybe you find this when your shoulders are tight or hurting, you're grabbing your elbows. Both legs long, inhaling, lifting your heart, find an opening, your whole front side. Exhaling, you're pulling your front foot into your hips, a long spine, folding forward, releasing your neck. Breath. 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 Inhaling from your heart, bending your knee, releasing your arms, sweep your arms over your head, reaching forward from your arms, lifting your back toes, flow into your third warrior, your arms along your body. Breath. Releasing your hands under your shoulders, pushing your back foot to the wall behind you. You can stay here. Maybe you're walking yourself into your standing split. You're walking your hands towards your left ankle, and maybe you can grab with your hands your ankle. Breathe, balancing here. Inhaling, releasing your hands under your shoulders, bending your left knee, lifting your back leg where the wall meets the ceiling, gazing forward. You can liberating your hands, planting your hands in Anjali Mudra, or you're opening your arms towards your side, index finger and thumb wanna meet, inhaling. Exhaling, releasing, stepping back in your long runner's lunge, inhaling, exhaling in your downward facing dog. Choose Chaturanga Dandasana, a nice vinyasa. Come into your child pose when you need. Choose whatever is available for you. Exhaling. Breathe. Spreading your fingers wide. Breathe, and let's meet in downward facing dog. Everyone, bending your knees, gaze between your hands, hopping, stepping, walking forward. Inhaling, you always can stay as long as you need in your child pose. Exhaling, bending your knees, Utkatasana. Inhaling. Exhaling, bringing your prayer in front of your chest, Tadasana, mountain. Breath. The other side wanna work, bending your knees. And first start really letting your arms growing heavy. Swinging, and then from here, bending your knees, pressing your knees, and in your Utkatasana. Stay bending your knees a tiny bit more, Julia. Breathe. And you want to lifting one heel. Exhaling, release, and the opposite heel. Exhaling, release, and maybe you want to play lifting both of your heels. Breathe. Exhaling, folding forward, Uttanasana, bending your knees, stepping your left foot back, open it 60 degrees, front knee bends in your first warrior. Inhaling. So you're bending your front knee, Laura, bring your toes facing front a tiny bit more. Yes, that you can bring your hips front. Front knee bending, toes, releasing your shoulders, bending your front knee a tiny bit more, and a big smile in your heart. Breathe. Breathe.
Inhaling, lengthening both of your legs, arms on your side, and you do it from your shoulders, opening your shoulders. Very often people with over flexible elbows, you can do it without moving in your shoulders. So consciously opening your shoulders, finding your reversed Anjali Mudra or grabbing your elbows, completely fine. What happens? We're kind of collapsing from your feet. Inhaling, lifting your heart. From your hips, folding forward. Pulling your foot energetically into your belly. Letting your neck growing long. Choice, letting your neck growing long. Breath, releasing your neck. Breath. Lena, releasing your neck. This is it. And grabbing your elbows when it's really difficult. This is easier. Look, you can open your shoulders even a tiny bit more. Breath. Bending your front knee, gazing up, releasing your arms. One more, nice. First warrior, shoulders, releasing, fingers soft, gaze towards the ceiling, inhaling, reaching forward, and from here you wanna sliding in your third warrior, arms along your body. Breath. Exhaling, whoops, releasing your hands under your shoulders. Stay like this, pushing with your foot, squaring hips, gazing 30, 40 centimeters in front of you, that you have your chest open. Maybe you want to walk into your standing split, lifting your leg and walking your hands closer towards your ankle, walking your hands towards your ankle, lifting your back leg. Look at this, breathe, playing with your balance. Breathe, and then you're releasing your hands back under your shoulders and you're bending your standing knee slightly, gazing forward from your heart, lifting your back leg where the wall meets the ceiling, connecting here. Stay, hands in front of your chest or arms like wings on your side. Come on, play, fly, breathe. Exhaling, stepping back in your long runner's lunge. Inhaling, exhaling in your downward facing dog. Breathe. Sarah, elbows. I'm banging on this door. Breathe. I know how difficult it is, but you're hurting your elbows. Breathe. Taking a vinyasa of your choice. Child pose always available. Choose. Breathe. What is nourishing you? Breathe. What is serving you? Let's meet everyone in downward facing dog. Inhaling, coming into your high plank, releasing knees and coming down onto the floor. We want to take a back bending. We've been working for this. So you bring first your head on one side, bringing your arms along your body, giving yourself one moment, connecting this wonderful soft part of your body, connecting with Mother Earth. So you want to come into your bow, but there are many options. So when you know your lower back is really sensitive and you don't want to come into your bow, I will show in a moment some more variations. If you would like to take your bow
From here, you're making sure your knees are in line with your hips. So your legs are hip width apart. You're bending your knees, flexing your feet. Gazing forward, so you want to lifting your chest, pressing your belly button, pubic bone into the floor, that you have a long lower back. Reaching with your hands towards your ankles. And from here, you're opening your chest, lifting your thighs, making sure your knees are not opening. Big toes maybe can touch, lifting your heart. When this is too difficult, you always can come, bringing your elbows under your shoulders, staying here, or you're bending your knees, lifting your heart one more time with your inhaling. Exhaling, sinking down, and you want to press your heels towards your seat and flattening your belly. Pressing your belly into the floor. Pressing this belly. So you don't want to allow lifting up, you're pressing this belly. All the good things we do twice, flexing your feet, and you're pushing with your shin bones, lifting your heart. Breathe, rounding back your shoulders, smiling, lifting your thighs a tiny bit higher, lifting the thighs a tiny bit higher. Beautiful, one tiny bit higher with your inhaling. Exhaling, release, letting go, bringing your head on one side and letting your tailbone swinging like the tail of a dog, really waving with your tailbone, one side, the other side. Bringing your hands under your shoulders, curling your toes, your knees pushing back, pushing into the floor, lengthening your spine, lifting your hands, rooting down from your wrists. Releasing your hands, releasing your toes in your child pose. Walking your arms forward, really giving yourself a nice length, and then you're releasing your elbows, your hands meeting in Anjali Mudra, and rooting down from your elbows, bringing your hands on the back of your skull. Your fingers pointing towards your sacrum, a sweet stretch in your armpits. And it's a nice stretch for the surface. Releasing your hands onto the floor, coming in your cat pose, exhaling in your downward facing dog, stepping your feet together. And you wanna lifting your right leg towards the ceiling, bending your knee towards your chest in your pigeon, bringing your right knee behind your wrist, walking your left toes, lifting yourself up. Breathe. Breathe. Stay square with your hips. You do not want to release your hips and coming squeezed like this. You stay square with your hips. Coming forward from your arms, your elbows. Stay please square with your hips. You do not let your hip dropping. Maybe you have a bit more space and you can resting forward, taking out this tension in hip, in thighs. Bringing your hands under your shoulders, pressing yourself up And now consciously, you're sitting on your right side, your left leg swings in front, your left, did I say left? Your left leg swings in front over your right. And here as well, please make sure this hip is not in the air. You want to come with this hip down. When this is difficult, you always can lengthening your right leg and sitting here. That's a variation and it's really completely fine. Right arm hugging your left knee, left arm first. Exhaling, twisting. Find any variation. Elbow, maybe you can find the bind. Inhaling, exhaling, coming back and taking a counter twist to the other side. Inhaling, neutral, unwriggling your legs, hugging your knees towards your chest, balancing on your seat, rolling back your shoulders, lengthening your spine. Hands under your knees, pushing with your balls of your feet. Maybe you can lengthening Navasana bowed. Breath, you always can support with your hands when you need. Crossing your ankles, pushing with your hands, your heels towards your seat, rolling over your knees. Jumping back if you like, finding a vinyasa, or you're walking back and you find your downward facing dog. Taking a vinyasa of your choice. If you still have some energy, connecting breaths, connecting with your flow. Stepping your feet together. Let's join in downward facing dog, everyone. And you're stepping your feet together, lifting your left leg. Inhaling. Exhaling, bending your knee towards your chest, opening your hip, and you want to bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Walking your right toes back, hands close to your hips. First, you want to opening up. Hips square. Breath. Coming onto your elbows when you have a bit more space. Hips square. Making sure you do not hurt your lower back. Maybe you can folding forward. Maybe you stay on your elbows. Completely fine. One more inhaling. With your exhaling, coming back onto your elbows when you fold it forward, coming back onto your fingertips, lifting your heart. Inhaling. And now you're sitting on your left hip, sliding with your right leg over your left knee. Remember, hip on the floor or in the air. Please lengthening this leg. Your left arm hugging your right knee, right arm. Exhaling, twisting. You can bring your elbow, or if you like, you can try to find the bind. Every inhaling, giving you length. Every exhaling, giving yourself openness. No, stay.
Stay with your bone. Just wanted to help you to rolling back your shoulders and finding wings here. Okay? Front foot flexing. One more deep inhaling. Exhaling, twisting. Center and then the opposite side. Giving yourself a counter. Inhaling back into your neutral and wriggling your knees, finding your sits bones, hugging your knees towards your chest. Knees in line with your chest, feet, hands, full pose, Navasana. Breath. Exhaling, lowering down, halfway. You always can help with your hands. Inhaling, lifting yourself up. Exhaling, halfway. Inhaling, 2 more times. Exhaling, in. Exhaling, stay, breathe. Exhaling, arms over your head, giving yourself a sweet little stretching. Bending your knees, hugging your knees towards your chest, squeeze yourself. Inhaling, letting your knees gently flowing. Again, this image of seaweed. You are in the depths, deep sea, letting your fingers, your toes, your knees being very soft, playing with this water all around you, playing with this movement we call waves. And from here, you're releasing your feet soft and gentle onto the floor, your arms next to your body, and finding your Savasana, your legs long, let go. Separating your legs. Being lifted by life, connecting with your part of receiving and giving. Letting go this idea, I'm a giver, I'm a receiver. You are always both. Giving and receiving is a one-way street. You can't give without receive. You can't receive without giving. So, feeling where you're holding in your face, in your jaw muscles. Shoulders soft, arms heavy. And there's a beautiful, nice little story about a river and surrender, what we call giving and receiving. The kiss of sunlight. Once a small river was traveling across a great distance to the sea. On its journey, it came to the edge of the desert and found it could not flow through the heat and sand. From above, the sun spoke to it, saying, "Dissolve into me, and I will carry you out across the desert." The stream, of course, was frightened. To the stream, this seemed like dying. It seemed like craziness and foolhardiness in the extreme. But something in the sun's whisper touched the river's heart. Something about the sun's beauty seduced it, called to its true essence, and it gave itself up into the sun's brilliance. Drawn into the sky, the moisture traveled across the desert as cloud and, on the other side, fell as life-giving rain back down to the earth to become a stream again. We are like this. We are the stream flowing toward the ocean of enlightenment, and we are stopped at the edge of samsara's desert. And slowly and gently reconnecting with your breath, letting this breath growing stronger and fuller into your toes, into your fingers with an exhaling. Inhaling one more, refreshing this body in all of your cells, the back side, the front side, and maybe it moves into a stretching, into a sweet little touching. Or you feel ready folding in your knees towards your chest and flow towards your right side. With your left hand in front of your chest, press yourself up and find a comfortable seat. Prayer in front of you, closing your eyes. Let's finish with one deep, long sounding in, starting all together with this universal sound of Om, knowing in this room, in this whole world, and with us right now at home, there are many, many people chanting with us at the same time. Inhaling. Thank you for practicing yoga with me this morning. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Thank you very much in this room, and thank you very much at home that you're popping up constantly. Thank you. It's very touching. And my mom and dad, hello mama and papa. They are here as well. Sometimes they are joining in to see me practicing, which is super sweet. Thanks for allowing us to do this. It's Feels just really beautiful. This is all people, normally they came practicing here. Some of them has been here some a few weeks ago, some of them obviously they can't come due to the situation. Thank you.